bit hit and miss as I'm going to reassemble this whole car by myself, and of course there's no Jarrett here to help film. So you're gonna see sporadic pieces, maybe a little bit of chumps here and there, but this is a late night, get the thing ready for tomorrow. Start from engine disassembled to fully assembled and running all in one night.
Make a YouTube video, all the Mexicans hanging out at Abel shop.
The Mexicans?
All these guys are Mexicans.
Abel, did you hear Isaiah's reason why my channel's so big?
What'd he say?
He says because it's awesome watching a white guy do work.
No one's pay, huh?
I was like, that's a really good point.
I never thought I'd see you work on your own car, to be honest.
This isn't my normal situation, but normally my audience is on the TV screen. Right now, they're all watching me install the engine into the 3-rotor. So all these guys are making sure I don't mess up, and they're gonna make fun of me if I do. But right now we've got the engine with the clutch installed. I just prepped up the slave cylinder as well as the throwout bearing. We put a new throwout bearing in because it was really squeaky and having a hard time. I hope to God the pilot bearing doesn't give me any problems. We're gonna slip the engine back in. You're gonna watch it on the time-lapse video because holding this camera and trying to work on the engine at the same time is a little difficult. The night rages on. What we have had is some good luck on getting the engine installed to the transmission the first time. Of course, I ended up putting the engine to the transmission and realized that we have an extra dowel pin in the back of each. So we had to pull the engine back out. Fortunately, all the clutch plates were all aligned, so they slid right back in. So at this point, the engine is in, it's connected to the transmission, and it's time to tie everything back up to it. Abel's doing the oil mods right now. Each engine that has a bearing is going to get oil directly to it instead of running through the dowel area, and then when that cracks, having problems. Even though nobody will argue with me that my wiring is an absolute mess, it still proves the point that Abel's ability to clean this engine bay up is very evident right here. Look at that. Everything just looks clean. Now, again, minus the wires, but you can start seeing some really clean things happening back here with additional features, oil, AN lines, all that sort of shit. It's just nuts. So watch it clean up even more, but look at simple things like this. That little Rob right there, the little baby Rob right there, that's a little baby stud. They replaced one of those little block off bolts that I made, and it looks so much cleaner. So all in all, this car just looks phenomenal in comparison to how it did. It is 3 o'clock in the morning Pacific Coast time, and you can tell nobody's playing music. It's just me here in the shop by myself. It's the night before the vintage rotary / Japanese car event, and of course the whole goal is to get that engine bay back there running basically within a week since we originally tore it apart. I can finally say all this without any sort of copyrighted music playing on the background behind me and probably ruining the audio, but in this case, yes, this thing has gone through a massive amount of changes, and of course all of the engine was in pieces this morning. So we're gonna go from piece by piece engine all the way to a fully running car within 24 hours total. 24 hours start to finish. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I think I'll make it happen. Right now, I've got the lower intake manifold on, the exhaust manifold on. A lot of the wiring as well is also installed. The injectors are in, primaries, secondaries. Starting to add in other things, fuel lines and so on. Getting everything nice and careful. Now, of course, being 3 in the morning and getting loopy as you normally do, and making a checklist of everything because this is the wrong car to do at 3 in the morning. So let's see just how good I can do. Oh, it's 5 in the morning, and it's looking more like a car. Here, take a look. Focus on it. Focus on the car. Okay, it still sees me. I can't see the little screen, so I can't tell if it's looking at me or not. I'm not even gonna look at the little screen. Probably beautiful as fuck. Here, take a look at this. Isn't that sexy? So it looks pretty similar to all of you, and I don't blame you if it looks very similar, because obviously a lot of the same parts made it here. But what's important is that it's not jerry-rigged. It is not just super glued and RTV'd and just hoping for the best here. It's done properly. There are actual gaskets, correct gaskets in this. For those of you wondering, that is a 93 throttle body, and there's like a little block-off plate that goes from the upper intake manifold to the throttle body. I had to get a Cosmo gasket on this side and a 93 RX-7 gasket on that side, so that's doubly expensive. The Cosmo gasket was the most expensive one, about $40 for one paper gasket. Yippee. So what I have left is a lot of small things. For example, you wouldn't know it without me telling you, but a lot of the fittings over here are, hand tight. They're loose. Like, for example, that pressure sensor right there needs to be tightened. I haven't ran any of the oil lines, the AN lines. Those will be custom for now, and then ultimately stainless braided beastly steel lines, so that you can even see down there. All of those are going to get connected in their own magical way. And then, of course, doing electrical tests, tightening all the fuel system in the back, that sort of stuff. The typical stuff that gets you caught on fire and dead. Of course, there's an empty hole where a turbo is supposed to be. Dun dun. That was my Law and Order sound. This is 7 o'clock in the morning. The show is at 10, and the sun's out. Well, I should say the sun is out somewhere. It's bright out. Hello, little insight. It's just me. It's me, your dad. Close. I'm close. So the intercooler piping sucks ass. That's going to get replaced just because of tonight. Everything else is kind of in place. Oil lines are still not ran because I couldn't find the oil crimper line thing. I don't even know the unique tool. But everything else seems to be generally in place. Okay, it's 10 a.m. They're starting to set up for the events. It's going to be an interesting day, but you can see how far I made it. I tried to sleep, and of course, the moment I tried to sleep, I heard one of the Rupoos firing up and coming in down the way. So, time to set up and make it happen. All right, here we are. I've now done all of the oil modification, rerunning. Everything's looking good. We're gonna go within 24 hours, go from an engine completely in pieces all the way to on the dyno. Let's see if we can make that happen. It's pretty possible at this point. The only thing that can really happen is as soon as it fires up, something really catastrophic occurs. I don't see that happening because Abel built the motor, but hey, you know what? I could have messed something up too.
Try to start it.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Go again, Rob.
Okay.
The battery's weak, so just let it start up.
What's really important to note is that the car started up on the first turn. That is really impressive. Of course, the battery's so dead that she ultimately died, but that is nuts.
Yeah, but it shut right off. The battery's real dead.
And let him back up.